Yeah, let's do it in front. We're going to do
I pitched it.
and then the sheriff.
You go to Plain or you go to Noel, then I come up after. I'm just like an Indian right now. That's right. You just want like a heavy ball to run to the field. Some kind of weighted run. That's not very big.
Bring the uniform.
Hey, Carly, do we need?
I'll have him on your other side. I'll
Okay.
have him on this.
So I can refer to him. Okay.
Just kind of, where do you want him, Carly? Just file in. Okay.
This is impressive, guys. I like
You
this.
and the chief will probably stay up here.
Yeah, I think it's.
Superintendent.
I think we go. I think I pitch it to Jason. He goes to
Okay,
you. You go to
okay.
you, and then I follow you back up.
Okay.
She said we're gonna do it like an Indian run. So I want to run back to the end of the line.
I'm going to follow directions.
Here, let's move in just a little bit.
We're doing a Native American.
So we're not
I got Devin there. I reference him. Okay.
That's good. That's good.
All right. Good morning and welcome. I'm very excited about our first day of classes on Monday for Knox County Schools as we get ready for the start of the new school year. So thank you for being here today. You've heard me discuss 4 priorities in the past that we're committed to for Knox County Schools. But let me say that in order to have those happen, the most important thing is to ensure safety in every one of our schools. We're thankful of the support of Mayor Kincannon and Mayor Jacobs, as well as our other partners, the Knoxville Police Department, and also the Knox County Sheriff's Department, as they play an essential role in keeping our students safe. As you know, school safety is on the minds of parents across the country after the terrible tragedy in Texas. In just a moment, Chief Perryard will talk about some of the specific actions that we have taken to prepare for school. But first, I want to emphasize the strong financial commitment of safety by our Board of Education and County Commission. Earlier this year, the Board and Commission approved $4.7 million in additional funding for school security. This crucial investment highlights our determination to be proactive in protecting our students and staff against potential threats as they come. This funding will allow our district to add 22 positions to our security division, most of them being officers assigned to schools. I recently attended the graduation ceremony of a new class of school security officers, and I was very impressed by their dedication and their training. School safety is paramount, and we will never stop working to protect the well-being of our students, staff, and school community. Today, I'm excited to announce 3 of our next steps in this process. First, we will actively recruit and retain the best school security officers. There is no better way to make schools safe than to have a highly trained officer in every school. So I have asked our newly created talent acquisition team to focus on actively increasing the recruitment of military veterans, and I'm also proposing an extension of a paid military leave for up to 30 days of any SSO or other employee serving as a reservist. One example of that is with us today. Officer Devin Kaiser is a reservist who's finished among the top recruits in his class of our latest graduating class. He's a perfect example of someone who's using his existing skills to move our mission forward. Secondly, I've asked our partners from the Sheriff's Office and Knoxville Police Department to provide an annual audit of every school safety plan and district safety plan. Let me be clear, I have full confidence in the ability of our Knox County Security Division. However, it's always wise to have a second set of eyes look over plans to make sure we're all on the same page and we've crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. And finally, I want to announce the relaunch of an anonymous tip line, which is monitored 7 days a week. This will allow students, teachers, family members, and community members to pass along any safety concerns or tips. You simply text the word Knox Schools and the message to 274-637. Again, that is text the word Knox Schools and the message line is 274, in the message line, 274-637. I'm thankful for each of our security officers and for Chief Perriard and his leadership. With that, I'll invite Chief Perriard to talk about specific steps we're taking for this year.
Thank you, Superintendent. Good morning, everybody. First, I wanted to thank my partners, Sheriff Spangler and Chief Noel, for their steadfast partnership. Our departments are working closer than ever, and that's due to the focus of effort of these two leaders. We have never done more things together, cross-trained, deconflicted information. We're talking on a daily basis sometimes, and I'm very confident that with the relationships we've built between our departments, we should have no problem facing a lot of the threats that are out there. And I'm just really happy to have them here today. Some of the upgrades that I wanted to talk about, obviously I can't talk about everything that we're going to be doing over the next year and a half, but phase 2 of our operation of reorganization and modernization includes upgraded body cameras. It's very important to me for transparency to have all of our officers have body cameras so that everything is open to scrutiny. We have nothing to hide. We want to make sure that the folks know that we're honest brokers out there, and that there's no way to tamper with the new systems and things like that. So we're really excited about that. The second one is tighter access control procedures. We've been incrementally making changes throughout the district that I can't talk specifically about, but to bolster access control to our schools, which is one of the most important mitigation strategies for security. We've also instituted an integrated visitor management system. This is to ensure people that want to do us harm have a harder time getting on our properties. We've done many physical security upgrades throughout the district over the past year, and we have plans to do more throughout the year. So you will see folks out doing maintenance work and doing big work around our schools throughout the year that we're really proud of. We've also upgraded our video surveillance capabilities. We believe keeping eyes and ears on all of our schools is very important, and these systems will ensure that we don't miss those really nuanced threats that might occur around the periphery of our schools. Finally, I talked at the board meeting about our data management systems. We are modernizing our systems to ensure that they are CJIS applicable and have NIBRS compliancy, so that all of our data is shareable instantly and aggregated, and that way we can help our partners keep us safer. So we're really excited about those systems. We're also going to be launching some new platforms. Aside from the tip line, we're going to be actually launching app-based systems that parents and students can tie into for anonymous tip reporting. We want to make sure that there's every line of communication open for anyone to share any information they feel might be dangerous to our schools and our students. With that, I'd like to since it's a little warm out here, I want to turn this over and introduce the Sheriff of Knox County, Sheriff Tom Spangler.
Thank you, Chief. Here we go again. Thank you all for being here today. It's an honor to be here, and it's also an honor to stand with these gentlemen here today, giving our support for each other as well, but to make sure that our children across Knox County are safe and continue to do so. A lot of things, as Chief just mentioned a while ago, that he can't go into details. There's a lot of things that we're not going to go into details for obvious reasons of what we are doing to make sure that we keep our schools safe. So, with that being said, for me, it's a privilege to have our deputies assisting and helping within our school system and our school district. This is, I think, for all parents, that's their number one concern right now, and we want to make sure that it stays that way. So we'll continue doing those things, and our partnership with each other is paramount to make sure that we're in contact with each other as well, to make sure that if we have any issues or we have concerns, that we're sitting down at the table and making sure we work those out. But thank you all for being here today. I want to be very brief. As he said, it's warm out here, so I'm going to turn it over and introduce Chief Noel from Knoxville Police Department.
Thank you, Sheriff. School safety is of the utmost importance. Students and teachers deserve a safe and healthy learning environments. And from a law enforcement perspective, we have a duty to ensure that students, faculty, and staff are protected while going to school and also coming to school and leaving school as well. For the first 2 weeks of the school year, Knoxville police officers will be in as many school zones as possible, enforcing school zone speeding and also reminding drivers to slow down and being as visible as possible in those school zones. Please remember to slow down, give school buses extra room when they're dropping off kids and picking up kids, and put away any distractions such as cell phones and other distractions which could cause you to become an accident, especially when you're in a school zone. We will have 26 school crossing guards across 20 schools, including all of our elementary schools and Bearden Middle School as well. So please look out for those crossing guards. They're going to be helping kids cross the street as they go to and from school. Please be on the lookout for them and please obey their instructions. Beyond school zone traffic, I want to ensure our parents that the Knoxville Police Department is ready to respond in event of a crisis. We have 11 trained school resource officers that will be in our schools. They'll be ready to respond, but they're also will be working with kids in mentorship roles and other positive roles as well. But just remember also, we will be there to respond in the event of a crisis. Earlier this week, our school resource officers conducted an in-depth active shooter training drill with the Sheriff's Department and with school security, so we're ready to respond if needed. In addition to those resources we have allocated to the schools, we know that all of our police officers on patrol are never far away if needed to respond in the event of a crisis. I'd like to thank our partners at the Knox County Schools and the Knox County Sheriff's Office. We look forward to having a very productive school year. And I'm going to turn it back over to the superintendent to close out this conference.
Thank you, Chief. And just want to say again, you know, and pause for a moment to realize how unique it is in a community like ours in Knoxville that, you know, sometimes there's strife between people and those things. It's great to see, you know, this is a real relationship, a real partnership. And I think it just speaks to Knox County and Knoxville and are willing to cooperate and make what's best for kids. So I want to say again, thank you to our partners who are here today. I'd also like to take a minute and thank our families because we know that safety is everyone's responsibility. We have a flyer of information for families that will be going out to kids in the first week, talking about tips that families may be able to do even to be part of this safety, because it does take everyone. We talk about safety being a team sport. It's going to take all of us to make that happen. That information is available at knoxschools.org/safeschools, and we'll continue to update things throughout the year there. Just will also let you know, in addition to Chief Perriard and Officer Kaiser, who will be as well, we also have other folks from the district leadership team who can answer additional questions you may have around safety. We have our Assistant Superintendent of Student Success, Jason Myers, who will be here if there are questions around mental health and the supports available to our students. We have our Director of Transportation, Ryan Dillingham, if there are questions about safety. Freddie Cox is our Chief Technology Officer, and he can address questions around internet safety. Thank you, and Carly, I think I'll turn it over to you at this point. I want to turn that over to, we got a couple things. I'm going to let Chief Perriard take that on, and if we need to, we can bring in Jason or someone if we need to.
Yes, the answer is yes. We do have active shooter training that we do periodically with the staff. We also did an annual brief with all the administrators this year to update them on any trends that were happening through the active shooter phenomenon. And we covered some changes that we're doing to the schools individually that they can make their targets harder. So we did a bunch of engagement with them to make sure that they understand, because we have to stay ahead of this. This is a problem that is not going away, and honestly, it evolves. The threat evolves, and we have to evolve ahead of it. And I've always said that proactive approach is what we're going to continue to do and what I pledge to do for the Knox County Schools.
I have a question. I think this is for Chief Noel. Wanted to see if, I think you mentioned 11 SROs in schools. Is that number higher or lower than usual? And could you just talk a little bit more about the need for SROs?
That's the same number of school resource officers we had last year, and it's, our school resource officers are in our schools to not only provide protection in event of a crisis, but really also to try to have as many positive encounters with students as well. Mentorship, there's a lot of roles there to have positive relationships and meaningful impact on our kids in school. So that's the main purpose of our SROs.
How many open SRO, SSO jobs are there across the district? Can you speak to the need for that?
Yeah, we were just talking about it. I won't speak to direct numbers, but we're all looking for people that are high conscientiousness, sense of duty. We do have some. We actually just deployed 19 out of the summer academy, so we're really proud of that. That's one of the bigger academies, and we are starting with the largest number of school security officers this year ever. By the fall, we're going to conduct a second academy, and we're asking anyone in the community, especially Knoxvillians, if they have a sense of duty or God puts it on their heart to do this job, we would love to have you. And so just reach out to my office, and we're looking for folks. Absolutely.
Will there be an SRO or SSO in every school when kids go back on Monday?
Absolutely.
Dr. Isaac, can you talk a little bit more about how parents would be notified in case there is an emergency that comes up?
Sure, we typically do that. I mean, there's kind of a whole line of things that go into effect when that happens. I mean, our first thing is to secure the site, right, and have students be as safe as possible and make sure the proper folks are identified. And we won't always be accurate in the information that we give out. So typically we do that through the school at that point and have the principal and the leadership involved in that. But again, our first concern is safety and making sure we've secured things, and then we want to make sure we're communicating out accurately to the families when we do, and that's usually through the schools.
And that communication happens via email, phone,
It would be our typical. I mean, Carla may have things to add to that, but we have multiple media ways we do that, and we have a Parent Square, which is one of our things we've launched for this year, that a way to better increase communication. But it would be a series of things. There could potentially be emails, potentially be direct messages or text and/or calls. So we try to cover as many bases as we can to get that done.
what is your one message to parents today that are going to be watching this tonight? What do you want them to know when 48, 72 hours from now they're sending their kids to school on Monday?
I'd say we're ready. We've done everything that we can do to possibly be prepared for this, and I feel confident as a dad who's sending my daughter to school. Right, I feel very confident in the work that's been done to be prepared at this point, and I think they should as well. I say that too to know that there are no 100%, right, and that's part of what we're doing to this to bring awareness. As we said before, safety is kind of a team sport, and we need communication on their side when there are things that they're hearing in the community. That's why we have things like the tip line and other kinds of things that are there. So we need to make sure that we're all communicating and we're all on the same page trying to get that done. But I feel very confident that we'll be safe on the first day of school when we go. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.